Whatever a quadratic pattern question asks, write the differences underneath first. Minus 2 minus minus 3 is 1. Minus 3 minus minus 2 is minus 1. Minus 6 minus minus 3 is minus 3. Minus 11 minus minus 6 is minus 5. So the first differences are 1, minus 1, minus 3, minus 5. And taking differences again gives minus 2 every time, which is what makes the original pattern quadratic. This question is only about that middle row. Look only at the row of first differences. 1, minus 1, minus 3, minus 5. That row drops by 2 every time. So it is an ordinary arithmetic sequence, and the formula is the first term plus n minus 1, lots of the common difference. The first term is 1, not minus 3, that belongs to the original sequence, and the common difference is minus 2. In it goes, and keep the bracket around the minus 2 until after you expand. Minus 2 times n is minus 2n, and minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 2. So 1 plus 2 minus 2n, which is 3 minus 2n. Now test it before you move on. That costs 5 seconds, and it is the only way to catch a sign slip. Put n equals 1n, 3 minus 2 is 1, and 1 is the first difference. Put n equals 2n, 3 minus 4 is minus 1, which is the second. It works. 1 mark, and it is an off by 1. The first difference, numbered 1, is the gap between term 1 and term 2. Number 2 is the gap between terms 2 and 3. So the gap between the 35th and 36th terms is difference number 35, not 36. Count it on the small numbers if you ever doubt it. So substitute 35. 2 35s are 70, and 3 minus 70 is minus 67. And notice why the numbering matters. If you had used 36, you would have got minus 69, which is a perfectly reasonable looking number in a sequence full of negatives. Nothing about it would look wrong. The only thing that catches it is knowing which gap you are numbering. Now the quadratic sequence itself. Every quadratic pattern has the same shape. Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. And there is a shortcut for a that costs nothing. 2a is always the second difference. We worked the second differences out at the start, and they were minus 2 all the way along. So 2a is minus 2, and a is minus 1. That is the first of the 3 letters, free, before you have written a single equation. For b and c you need 2 equations, and the sequence hands you as many as you want. Take the first term, n is 1, so minus 1 squared, plus b plus c equals minus 3. Minus 1 plus b plus c is minus 3, so b plus c is minus 2. That is your first equation. Now the second term, n is 2, so minus 4 plus 2b plus c equals minus 2, which gives 2b plus c equals 2. Subtract the first equation from the second, and the c cancels straight out. 2b minus b is b, and 2 minus minus 2 is 4. So b is 4. Put that back into b plus c equals minus 2, and c is minus 6. So Tn is minus n squared plus 4n minus 6. And here is the check that is actually worth doing. You built that formula out of the first 2 terms, so testing it on the first 2 terms proves nothing. Test it on the third. Minus 9 plus 12 minus 6 is minus 3, and the third term is minus 3. The fourth gives minus 6, the fifth gives minus 11. 3 terms you never used, all correct. Now you know. Never contain a positive term. Nobody can check every term, so you have to find the biggest one and show even that is negative. Complete the square. Take the minus out of the first 2 terms. minus bracket n squared minus 4n, close, minus 6. Half of minus 4 is minus 2. Squared is 4, so add and subtract 4 inside. That gives minus bracket n minus 2 squared plus 2, which is minus n minus 2 squared minus 2. Now read it. N minus 2 squared is a square, and a square is never negative. The smallest it can ever be is 0, when n is 2. So minus that square is never positive, and the whole thing is at most 0 minus 2, which is minus 2. The biggest term this sequence ever reaches is minus 2, and minus 2 is below 0, so there is no positive term, and there never will be. The guideline also accepts a sketch, as long as it shows the turning point at 2, minus 2, and opens downward.
10 marks, and they are not spread evenly. 2.1 is 3, and 2.3 is 4, so the two expression parts carry 7 of the 10 between them, and both of those want the substitution written down, as well as the answer. 2.2 is a single mark, and it is entirely about whether you pick difference 35 or 36. No partial credit. You numbered the gap correctly or you did not. 2.4 is 2, and it is the one people leave blank because the word explain frightens them. It should not. Completing the square and pointing at the maximum is a full answer, and so is a sketch with the turning point in the right place. The idea underneath both of those short parts is worth more than the marks. The nth difference sits between term n and term n plus 1. And a square is never negative. Neither is hard, and both are worth marks every single year.